Transform your experience into passive income.
Hi, Colleen. Welcome back again to our video series on digital product creation for professionals. Today, we wanted to talk to you about the different types of digital products that you can create. Sometimes people think, oh, what do you mean? I have to write a whole ebook, or, are confused about what you can even create. So we thought it would be important to just share with you the types of digital products that we've created and that we've been able to monetize and what's out there, because you might think you don't have any technology skills, but in reality, it doesn't take much to get started. So do you want to start off, Colleen? What's your most favorite digital product to create? Let's start off with our favorites.
Yeah, well, I have a ton of different types of resources on my site that sell really well, but the ones that I enjoy making most are the ones that I can easily reproduce. Just plug in information and then make it with a different theme or a different topic. And resources like handouts and worksheets do really well, and therapists can use them, print them off, and just go. That's what is the best part about it, is because therapists don't want to recreate the wheel when they're making a handout for a parent. And usually they have a kid with specific needs, but then they can use that resource again and again and again. So the ones that I love the best are handouts and worksheets that I can just reproduce again and again with different topics. But other types of products that do really well are ebooks, workbooks with pages that therapists or other professionals can print off just certain pages, not even the whole workbook, just a couple pages here and there that work for what they need at the moment. What about you? What are your favorites?
I think there's two different things. I have favorites that I like to create, and I think favorites of my customers. So I really like creating printables, activity worksheets. I just find them really fun. I think I like to do puzzles, so I like to create different puzzles and activity worksheets. I like to make activities that keep exercise fun and engaging, because I know from the physical therapy perspective, it can be hard to do that with kids. So that's what I like to create. But I think my customers really like the same kind of things, like activity ideas that are ready to go, but especially the ones that are created by some of the OT and CODA vendors on my website, because they're through their eyes and their perspective, they know really what's great for their students. So a lot of the handwriting worksheets, visual perceptual worksheets, they sell well because people are using them. That's a lot of the goals that kids are working on, and they're ready to go.
Yes.
So I do think, there's two different ways to look at it. Sometimes I'm in a real creative mode and I like to sit down. It's almost to me like painting. Digital product creation is a creative outlet.
Yes.
So it can be really fun to create those printables and worksheets to help the kids do better in school. So
Yes.
I would say printables and worksheets,
Yeah.
but there's so many other options out there. Again, sometimes I'm in a mode where I'm big on data collection, and, I think that we need so many more resources in that area that are really easy for teachers and therapists to use. And so I'll get into that mode of let's create some forms. Those were some of the first products I ever created because I just saw such a need and how hard it is to keep on top of documentation. And now with the ever-changing technology front, there's Google Sheets and Google Forms, and there's so many things you can create. So I do enjoy making those as well.
Let's talk about forms. You can have forms for screening tools or collecting data, all those different types. There's so many ways that you could have a form that you use again and again in your practice. On my site, I have a few different screening tools. These are created by therapists in the field that see a need to collect data, check off red flags, maybe hand out to a parent and say, what are you seeing at home? And parents can just fill that out based on their individual child. Those do really well, specifically like sensory screenings or visual perception screenings, handwriting screenings. Do you sell a lot of those on your site?
Yeah, definitely. I think because they're huge time savers. And I think sometimes too, therapists just want to see it through someone else's lens, or a teacher needs it. We can't be in the classroom at all times. And so for some of the screenings, if it's a handwriting screening tool, a teacher can benefit from that as well. So for sure, those are popular. And I
Yeah.
think what you said is so important. They're coming and being created by people in the field, using them every day. They see a need, they see where their students struggling. So they might have just created it out of need for their own workplace. And now, you can just double that and help to share with others and earn some income on the side by sharing those digital products.
Yes.
So I would agree. Forms, screening tools, handouts, printables, those sell the best by far.
Yeah. How about ebooks? Because you could go so many different ways with ebooks.
You can, and I think you can get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
If you're thinking of that big project, but sometimes I have a couple of ebooks on our site that do sell very well, specific to topics like toilet training, where a therapist has gone really deep on helping children with toilet training and helping parents and families. And so this is, a topic that she's highly interested in, and it's been great. So I think you can get very specific and get much more detailed than a simple printable activity workbook.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Definitely. You could go as far as making the ebook and then putting it onto a print on demand site that prints physical books, which we've done together.
Right. Yeah, we've done
a
that.
series of books that way. But another way that you can make it super simple and just get it done is put down on paper what you find yourself saying to parents time and time again. You kind of have like a spiel where you say these types of things are things you're going to look at, and this is what you're going to work on, and these are areas you're going to target in your therapy treatment. What are you saying again and again? Just put that on paper, and that's an ebook of its own. It might be just 20 pages or something of information, but then the people that purchase it can print off the pages that they like and use those, and it's a really great resource.
Exactly. You don't have to think that it has to be this several hundred page book. Sometimes, everybody's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. And so sometimes less is more, especially on a very specific topic. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about creating something. It doesn't have to be extensive or lengthy. Everybody appreciates any of the information that they can get condensed in one area. So I do agree with you. You don't have to think something huge.
Right.
What else? Video. We're doing video right now. I mean, you could definitely do video courses. That's not my wheelhouse. I'm not that strong on it, but I have done them before, but that's not my focus.
Yeah.
How about you?
I did one video course, and I actually made a course that or like a session that I presented to the Pennsylvania OT Association. I made the slides. I talked about something that I'm really experienced in. And then after that presentation, I downloaded the slides and I kind of used that and packaged it up into something totally different, a product that people could purchase. So it's really actually easier than you think to create a video course. The slides are super easy to make on a platform like Canva. You can just then record right onto the screen and just spiel out what use your experience and talk about whatever your teaching points are, and then package it all up as a course. And it's really actually not as complicated as you might think to make that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And like you said, I do think sometimes it's easier because you can just sit there and talk and record yourself. That knowledge is all there and ready to go. So you might think that it's harder to do that or to use those kind of tools, but in reality, you might get something done quicker.
Yeah. Sometimes the technology is a real stumbling block, but just sitting down and trying it. And if it doesn't work, then you can kind of reach out and find different resources online to get over that. Right. That can really, really trip you up sometimes.
I think though, the most important thing, like you said, you might think at first it's a hurdle, but just go for it. Like you're only going to learn to get better by practicing. It's the same thing we teach the children that we work with. I mean, we ask them to practice a task over and over again. And we know from motor learning, that's what we need to do to learn a new skill. So just get started and try. I mean, I can't believe how much I've learned through the years to create activities and worksheets and different things I've done because you make a mistake and you figure out how to fix it and move forward, So that's the great thing about our course. We've made a lot of mistakes and, we've learned from all of that. So what we've packaged together does help people because you hopefully won't make the same mistakes we made. You'll be ahead of the game.
Definitely.
What else? What did we not cover? Handouts. You said handouts. I want to go back to them for a minute because they do sell well and they are such a valuable resource for parents and teachers. And they're probably, in my opinion, the easiest to create of all the digital products because you most likely, like you said, this is information you're probably saying day in and day out. So you just have to write it down, or perhaps you've already written it down and you're handwriting it all the time,
Right.
last minute tossing it in a kid's backpack. And if you would just take, set aside a little bit of time to type that up in Canva, there's plenty of images that you could use to help support that written format that you have there. And I think that's a super easy way to get started. And I think you will see success quicker than maybe creating an activity sheet just because there's not as much on the market as there is for themed activities. Would you agree?
Definitely. And that type of resource really helps the kid too, because they can use that information at home, where if they're working on a specific skill in therapy or in your session, that kind of stops there unless you have some kind of communication to send home. And if it's just done, pull it out, it's ready to go.
Right. And because it's a digital product too, for some, depending upon terms of use, some creators do allow you to email that one page home. Maybe not the whole packet, but they will allow you to email certain pages. And that's even better. You don't even have to worry about printing it. And I think you have a better bet that the parent or the teacher can get their eyes on those documents. Another thing that you can create digital product wise is digital images to use on merchandise. You could create t-shirts or mugs. I mean, there's just some phone cases, posters. There's so many different things that you can create, and there's easy websites that allow you to upload those images that you create, and they will send the product for you. So it's not like you have to keep inventory. So, I mean, I do some of that. I don't have huge sales in it, but I think it's also because I never really market that much. I could work harder at that, but it is extremely easy. So if you have a creative side to you, or if you're an illustrator and could draw images on your own, in my opinion, there's still a huge need for that, to have unique images for merchandise or even clip art. It's just another way that you can use your talents to create digital products. I think that's almost everything. Can you think of anything else?
I was just trying to think. I think that covers pretty much what is sold on my site. But the cool thing about this is there's so much creativity to it that you can kind of come up with look at what you use on a daily basis and figure out how others could use that, and how you can make their life easier by recreating this so that others can purchase it and use it.
Right. And most likely you've probably done 50% of the work and you just don't even realize it. If you go through your computer or your bag and pull out some things that you've used with your students today, I bet you could find some stuff that you could get your digital product journey started faster than you might think. So give it a try. And you can go to either of our websites to check out our digital product creation for professionals program that will help you get started with that. I think it's worth a try. Like I said, you've probably done 50% of the work already.
Yeah. If you've any other ideas, let us know in the comments. We would love to hear what you're creating.
For sure. All right, Colleen, I'll see you next time.
I'll see ya. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Visit the OT Toolbox or your therapy source to get started today.